In this new series, I'm going to be sitting down with digital nomads and expats to try and figure out how exactly they make their money online. Starting with Chris and Sophia. Now, Chris and Sophia are a couple from California who quit their 9-to-5s and set out to explore the world. Somewhere along the way, they decided to start documenting their travels on YouTube, and just 18 months later, they've now managed to build up their channel to over 2,000 subscribers. Now, in this interview, I'll be asking Chris and Sophia what it really takes to create a travel channel from scratch, and whether or not YouTube ad revenue can actually support a full-time travel lifestyle. So with that said, if you've ever thought about starting your own YouTube channel, or maybe you've even just been curious about what goes into making it work, then sit back and enjoy him, because this is going to be a good one. So Chris and Sophia, welcome to the channel. Perhaps you could start by just telling the audience a little bit about who you guys are, kind of where you're from, and how exactly did you guys get into travel vlogging and traveling all over the world?
How we started about a year ago. It was about June 2023 when we started traveling full time. So we both had 9-to-5 jobs. And we decided that we wanted to pursue our dream, which was travel the world full time, explore the rest of the world. And we figured YouTube was the best way to share our experiences with our family. So initially, we started a YouTube channel just so we can share with family and friends. And as we kept traveling, as we kept posting on YouTube for family and friends, we started realizing that their subscribers were growing, the views were growing outside of our family and friends. And it just kind of made sense to let's put a little more time and effort into YouTube and let's see where it can take off in a year or two. And fast forward to maybe like a year and a half later. We're almost going on 2,000 subscribers, which is not much, but it's a big jump, from 0 to 2,000. We just got monetized a month ago. So we've been making good progress, I think.
So where are you guys originally from? Because it's interesting you say that you never even set out to travel vlog. Like, what was the plan? Where were you at and where were you traveling to?
So we are from California, like the San Francisco area. And we decided to quit our jobs and go to Bali. Like, that was the
plan.
The goal. Yeah, that was the goal, to go to Bali and be there for 6 months and then travel to countries nearby. And that's basically how we just started. It wasn't really like we're going to go travel and make videos, and it wasn't a set plan. It was just, we want to quit our jobs, see what's out there, explore the world, and just see how the time is going to go. Our plan was originally to be out of the US for about a year, and we just kept extending it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're kind of accidental YouTubers, in a sense. Would you guys say that you're now going all in on YouTube? And have you kind of realized that it's a good way to be able to live abroad and to travel and be digital nomads?
I think it's a great way. Like, honestly, I feel like what better way it's because life is all about memories. So YouTube is a great way to kind of store those memories as you explore different parts of the world. And the world is so big. So there's so many countries that we haven't even seen yet. And we've been to a lot of countries, but that's only within the span of a year and a half. So, and then YouTube is not only is it a place where you can store and share your memories, but you can make money from those memories. So I think it's a great way to start something new, and you could build into a long-term business, so to speak.
And there's also you don't have to invest a lot of money into it, because you can record with your iPhone. You don't have to have any fancy equipment. You just upload as you go. It doesn't cost anything to have a YouTube account. So I think it's a really good way of growing it and then making money off of it. And you don't have to invest money into it. It's just your time and what you choose to do with that.
Could you fill us in on kind of what countries you started out in? You said Bali, but then what other countries have you explored as you've been travel vlogging over the past year and a half?
So we started off in Bali, and we visited Southeast Asia countries like Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines. For those first 6 months. And then after that, we moved over to the European side and we went to Turkey, Italy, France. We also did Albania, North Macedonia. And then we came back to Asia and we actually just got back from Japan. So we just been visiting like wherever our home base is, we just visit countries around that home base.
So we'll stay in one spot for maybe 6 months. And then within that area, we go travel. So we have 6 months to basically explore the surrounding areas. And so far, Asia has been like our favorite, which is why we came back to Asia. And we're also looking to go back to Asia next year. So, yeah, we're just going to continue exploring neighboring countries. And yeah.
That's a really good point, because a lot of people, when they think about becoming a digital nomad, they think about constant perpetual travel. But what you guys have just mentioned is that it's much easier to kind of have a home base in a certain region and then travel to other countries from there.
Yeah, we found that to be our lifestyle better. We don't like to pack our stuff every like month and like carry all of our stuff and just move. Like we like to settle down and just have a home base because it's just what works with our lifestyle.
Yeah, we found other travel couples that do the same, but instead of staying at one spot for 6 months, they're constantly packing every month and going to a new location. But they almost all of them say that they get really tired and their energy feels drained. So at that point, you're not really enjoying the travel as much as you should be. And a lot of people really do recommend, they call it slow travel, where you stay in one spot and then you travel maybe 2 or 3 locations within a 6-month span. And that has worked for us for sure.
And you mentioned that you've just got monetized on the channel. So what I think is really interesting is that you guys basically wanted to travel the world. You've gone out and traveled the world, but you've actually built a business essentially at the same time. And like you said, documented everything for your friends and family. You know, I talk a lot about that, about starting a YouTube to anybody that's just first starting out. I say, well, at the worst case scenario, you've got like videos that you can look back on for years and years and years. But when it comes to monetization, are you starting to actually get funds from YouTube now that actually is further enabling you to be able to do this?
Yeah, so we just got monetized a month ago, like you mentioned. To see the money coming in, it's very cool to see. Because like we mentioned earlier, we were doing this for free. You know, we weren't expecting to make tons and tons of money. We know when you do play the YouTube game, it takes a while to get your skills there. It takes consistent effort. So if we didn't focus on money, it just made it easier for us to just keep uploading, since we weren't doing it for money. We were just doing it for us. And at the end of the day, we have a collection of memories for us. And now that we're seeing money, it makes it more exciting. I think it adds an element, more motivation. And, you know, we haven't made much, but in our first month, we made close to 100 USD. And that's only with, 2,000 subscribers and maybe a couple thousand views. So we can only imagine like how big this can grow. And having mentors and just getting deeper into the YouTube journey is just like an endless journey to keep learning.
Yeah. YouTube is definitely not like a short term. Like you won't get the results like right away. I think it takes time to even get to the monetization part. So even after you get monetized, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be making lots and lots of money unless you like are like 5 years into like the YouTube journey. But I think that if you don't start, like you're never really gonna get there. You know, it's like it'll grow eventually. I think it takes a lot of time and effort, and it will definitely grow, and you can definitely live off of it, just because we've talked to other couples that are doing the same thing and they live off of YouTube. You know, they're doing the same thing that we're doing. So we know it's possible, but it's just time.
Yeah, I agree. And the nice thing about YouTube as well is you have like a compounding effect as well, right? Like I always say, it's the only way is up, basically. If you just keep going, you have to put in that hard work at the start, but once you get monetized, keep going and it'll just grow and grow and grow. There's also a lot of opportunities I find to monetize outside of the platform. Like, have you guys looked at any other avenues like that? Are you doing anything like that? Do you have any plans to make money off of the platform that isn't just dependent on ad revenue?
We've heard about sponsorships, just working one-on-one with companies, and for example, any travel agencies, affiliate links. We personally haven't tried any of those yet since we just got monetized a month ago. And also like a lot of people are like selling courses or guides. The only thing we have gotten into is like selling some guides on Etsy. So like travel guides is something that we have on Etsy. And also school community is like another way to monetize. But we're so early on it that we don't fully know the extent of how much we can make. But we've heard stories about how much income can come in through those avenues.
Yeah, like put in your affiliate link from like Klook or Iralo, and like they give you, we just signed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they give you like a percent of however much the person like purchases. So you get like 10%, 5%, it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
So we're barely now just exploring that
Mm-hmm.
and putting that in our description from now on.
Hey guys, if you're liking this video and if you want to learn more, then make sure to head on over to nomadschool.com, because this Sunday, Chris and Sophia will be hosting a full 1 hour long behind the scenes workshop where they'll be showing you how to plan, film, and edit travel content. Plus, they're going to share their exact strategy for growing on YouTube, all whilst traveling around the world. Now, this workshop starts at 8 p.m. on Sunday. However, if you can't make it, don't worry, because you can still get access to the full replay at any time simply by clicking the link down in the description. Okay, now back to the video. Awesome. And could you guys kind of talk about some of the struggles? Because it sounds very positive, but what have been some of the challenges that you faced in starting a YouTube channel, especially starting a YouTube channel whilst traveling at the same time?
Yeah, that's a hard one. It's like, I think the biggest one is consistency, especially when you're moving around and you're trying to get settled down and still having the time to either come up with a video idea or edit a video, post a video while you're traveling. I think that has been like the hardest part for us, that we're still trying to get accustomed to, basically to just have videos like in the bank. That's something that we are working on. I think that's the hardest part that I have found.
The consistency, for sure.
And do you guys help each other out? Do you both work on the channel? Like, does one of you guys edit? Does one of you hold the camera? How does that work?
So we both edit the videos. We usually, the way we split it is like, okay, 1 week I'm filming it. I'm editing it. And then the next week Sophia's editing it. So we'll alternate like week by week, which is video by video. Depending on different tasks, sometimes Sophia will take over the editing for the next 2 weeks while I focus on other things like affiliates or building out a school community. But for the past year, we've basically been sharing the work. Like, we both film and we both edit at pretty much a 50-50 workload, I think. Yeah. Right?
So if somebody was looking to start a YouTube channel from scratch, perhaps doing something similar to what you guys are doing, what would be kind of the best piece of advice that you would give them?
I would say record everything.
Record everything.
Because you never know what you're going to use, and it's better to have more footage than to not have footage. I think we struggled with that at the beginning. Like, we didn't really know what to do in terms of like, okay, we're traveling to the Philippines. What is the video going to be about? Like, what are we going to do? Sometimes you don't have time to like get a video title and a video idea out like as you're recording. So I think by just recording everything and just making sure that you have points of interest throughout the video, I think that would help.
I think also posting as much as possible. As a beginner, the more you post, the faster you could learn. And like Sophia said, the more footage you have, the better you have an idea of like what footage works and what footage doesn't. Because you'll notice, like, the more you film, you'll start to realize like a bunch of the footage that I have filmed, I can't even use in the editing process. You'll probably only end up using 10% of everything you filmed. And then on the next one, you have a better idea of what footage works better for your style of editing. Everyone has a different style of editing. So it comes down to learning the fastest. And that's done by recording a lot in the beginning and also uploading a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody was just to start out and they did want to do this, like, how much do you think they should have saved up, or how long do you think it's actually going to take them before they can start to make this a full-time thing?
I think it definitely varies per person. Since we're a couple, we get to share the expenses. So like rent, utilities, scooter, we pretty much split the expenses. So the barrier to entry is a lot lower than if you were like a single person, for example. And also I think it comes down to choosing what part of the world you want to base yourself out of. So we chose Vietnam, and also we chose like Bali. We chose countries that were a lot less expensive as compared to Europe, for example. So we were able to stretch our money a lot more than other countries if we had stayed there instead. Um, yeah, for example, we ended up saving about, what do you think?
I think when I first came out, like 25, 30,000.
About, yeah, I want to say 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we both saved up about, well, together we saved up 20,000 USD. So about 10,000 USD each, and we've been able to stretch that money for over a year and a half now.
I think based off of your lifestyle and the location that you picked, you should have at least 6 months of that rent money. Because, you
Mhm.
can always look at the cost of living in different countries. So we planned it in that way.
Yeah, and we started a habit of tracking all of our expenses and income before making this move. So that was a huge factor in making this process a lot smoother on our end, because we already had the habit of like tracking every expense, tracking every income that we had, and just having it on a file like on Google Drive. And that way you can kind of see, or Google Sheets, excuse me. That way you can see like what money you can cut out if needed, and what time you can invest more in that can bring in more money, for example.
That's some brilliant advice, especially when it comes to budgeting for sure. Can you tell the guys kind of what are the future plans for your channel, and more specifically, how can people find your channel and get in touch with you?
So we basically hope to grow our YouTube as big as we can get it to be. We're going to continue traveling, posting videos, and hopefully help people that are trying to get to those destinations and make it easier of like things to do, things to watch out for. Um, yeah, so we just hope to grow it.
Yeah, at this point of our journey, I also really want, we also want to help other people do the same thing that we did, because it was a bit intimidating to do, to quit your 9 to 5 and to travel the world. It's a huge change. So if Sophia and I can like help somebody with that process, we plan on making that process as smooth as possible for people that want to do the same. We've been doing it for over a year and a half, and we've learned a lot. So we want to put that into some kind of guide or course. And that's why we decided to start a school community ourselves, to see if we can help. If there's anybody out there that are interested in starting a YouTube channel, travel channel specifically, that's kind of what we hope to do with our community and in the future too.
Okay, great. And what is the name of the channel, and what's the name of the school community?
So the channel's Chris and Sophia on YouTube. You'll see a lot of our Vietnam videos because that's where we're based out of. And then our school community is called the Travel Couple Creators. We just started the school community, so we have a lot of ideas that are currently in the works, but we're really excited to get that to grow. And yeah, we look forward to see how big we could get the channel to grow.
Okay, well, awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. And I'm going to put the links to all of your stuff down in the description. It's been great, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett.